bees, welcome back to my channel. So on today's video we're gonna talk about cash equivalents. So a lot of you have been asking me about assets that are short-term, that have maturity dates, that have low risk. So this video is all about it. So I want to talk about cash equivalents. I'm basically gonna really focus on money market. So I'm always focusing on capital market, which is long-term stocks, and today we're going to talk about money markets. Money markets is bonds, any asset that have a maturity date of less than a year. Okay, I want to talk about just three cash equivalents. These cash equivalents have a low risk, but you know that a low risk equals low returns, which is still not that bad because cash equivalents are really liquid and they have less risk. So whenever you need your money, you can get it as fast as this. So it's not like property or stocks or all these other long-term bonds where they're really less liquid. So these ones are really liquid. Okay, so the first one that I want to talk about is treasury bills. So maybe a lot of you have heard about what treasury bills are, and if you have done economics, you know what treasury bills are, right? So there are short-term bonds that are less than a year. So you can get it if you're in South Africa. You can apply it from Reserve Bank. If you're in USA, you can apply it from is it IRS? I'm not really sure. So treasury bills are government bonds that mature at a short period of time, right? So it can be 6 months, it can be 9 months, it can even be 2 months if you want it to be. It's only up to you how much you want to patch it, like the duration of time that you want to hold on to your treasury bill, right? So yeah, like I said, if you're in South Africa, you can get it from a Reserve Bank. If you're in the US, the IRS. If you're in China, I don't know if China releases treasury bills, but you can go on Google and Google if you can get any accessible treasury bills. So they have a maturity date, they have a low risk, and even though they have low returns, but they're not that volatile like stocks, like long-term bonds. So you're good to go. I'm talking about cash equivalents because the market right now is really volatile, and I think I just need to educate people and let people know that there are things that you can invest in that are really short-term, which can make you money whilst you're still at home. Okay, so treasury bills, I talked about it. I hope that you guys understand it. If you don't, go on Google and Google it. The second one that I want to talk about is commercial paper. So this is really for people who are into business. Your business doesn't really have to be that big for you to apply for commercial paper. Try your luck, you can get lucky. So commercial paper, it's the same as loan, like going to a bank and getting a loan, but this one is much easier because it's less costly. Why is it less costly? It's because it's not registered with the SEC, so they lower the cost because, again, it's less than a year. It can go for 272 days or 270 days or up to 9 months, but it doesn't it doesn't go more than a year. So that's why it's less costly, and that's why it's less volatile. So if you're someone who is starting their businesses, or you want to buy inventories but you don't have that kind of money, then go and purchase commercial paper. They will help you out. If the bank, you can't get a normal loan, so commercial paper, it's good because it has less cost, although it's short term because I know paying your debt at short term, it's kimatata. But anyway, go try it. So the last cash equivalent that I wanted to talk about is certificate of deposit. I know that we put all these fancy names into it. A certificate of deposit is the same as just going to the bank and saving your money and making it fixed, and then you get a percentage for making it fixed because the bank is going to use your money whilst you're not using it, right? So they put a fancy name to it and they call it a certificate of deposit, but it's just the same as you going to the bank and putting your money into your savings and not touching it for maybe a year or 6 months. It's up to you on how you and your bank have agreed on, right? So the certificate of deposit is less volatile, it's less risky obviously, but you know, like I always say, more risk equals more returns. So if it's less risk, it means that you're gonna get less returns like stocks, but still no problem. Especially in this time, you really need to do these certificate of deposit, commercial paper, treasury bills, because they're short term and we don't know what's going to happen in the future because of this COVID-19, right? Okay, so I'm going to share with you some of the South African banks that offer a certificate of deposit, right? So the first one, okay, they put it in a top 6, I think, top 6 banks that offer high interest rates of putting your money away for a fixed period. It can be 1 year, it can be 6 months, it's up to you. So the first bank that is highly recommended is ABSA Bank. So ABSA offers a certificate of deposit for a minimum deposit of 15,000 rand. I know. But they give you an interest rate of 5.2%, which can vary from 5.2% to 6.5%. So you put all your money there, and by the end of maybe 1 year, or maybe you can go for 2 years, you will get a 5.2% or 6.5% interest rate on top of the money that you have saved in the account, right? So the advantage of this certificate of deposit is you can withdraw your money. It's not as fixed as other certificate of deposits. You can withdraw all the money from your account without having to close it. So that's the advantage. And the second certificate of deposit is the African Bank. So African Bank offers a certificate of deposit which a minimum deposit is 500 rand. So it's really good for people like us and people like you. So the minimum deposit is 500 rand, and the interest rate varies. So it's not a fixed interest rate. So it would depend on how much the Reserve Bank, whether it raises the interest rate or it decreases the interest rate. This one is really risky, because why am I saying it's risky? Because if interest rates rise, then it's going to be good for someone who has deposited the money in African Bank. But if interest rates lowers, that means that you are losing money. So a variable interest rate, it's a bit risky. More like stocks, I don't want to lie. Another one, it's CAPITEC. I know what you guys are thinking, because I'm always talking about CAPITEC. Man, they should really pay me for this, because I'm always advertising this bank. Okay, so CAPITEC has a fixed deposit, which is a certificate of deposit, which the minimum deposit is 10,000 rand at an interest rate of 7%, which varies from 7% to 9%. So you can put your money there. It depends on what you guys agreed with your bank, with CAPITEC. Maybe they will give you 8%, maybe they'll give you 9%. It's just up to you how you guys have agreed on. You don't have to withdraw the money. If you withdraw the money within that period where you were not supposed to withdraw it, there can be penalties and you're losing your money, right? So another one is, which is the fourth one, FNB. FNB offers a certificate of deposit for a minimum deposit of 10,000 rand. Its interest rate, it's fixed, is 8.4. It's like that. So if you make your certificate of deposit for 2 years, you will still get your 8.4, whether the interest rate goes up or it goes down. It's fixed, it's on the contract, it's like that. Okay, so I would really go for FNB because it's really good. 8.4% is a lot, I don't want to lie. So another one, the fifth one, is NEDBANK. So NEDBANK offers a certificate of deposit for the minimum deposit is 1,000 rand, and the interest rate varies from 5.8% to 7.25%. So it varies from that range, right? So this one, the only thing is it's really affordable, but you have to take out your 2.5 deposit for you to start up this 1,000 rand minimum. So it's not that easy. So another one is Standard Bank. So Standard Bank, its minimum deposit is 1,000 rand. Its interest rate varies from 6.4% to 9.8%. So according to the agreement that you will have with Standard Bank, they will give you that interest rate, right? So according to Standard Bank, they will give you that interest rate that you guys have agreed on, which will be on your contract. So those are the top 6 the certificate of deposit that I wanted to share with you guys. These are all South African banks that I've shared with you guys. I haven't really looked into certificate of deposit of China, which I will later on because I'm gonna go back there. Anyway guys, I hope this video was really helpful. That's what I'm always aiming at, and I know I've been away for a long time, but I'm back now. Okay, so my next video, which will be next week, I will be talking about investment philosophies. So I will first talk about my investment philosophy, which is value investing, and then explain to you guys other investment philosophies. This was asked by someone, I don't really remember his name, but I'll put it here. He asked me on the comments what my investment philosophy is, and I wanted to talk about that and share with you guys. So yes, Salvies, don't forget to subscribe, like, and yeah, share with your family, share with whoever that you want to share with, and I will see you next time. Bye.